Hey, everybody! You are about to hear a brief retelling of the movie Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire. Before we get started, hit the like button and subscribe. It may only be a click for you, but it has a significant impact on the channel. The movie starts somewhere in Hollow Earth. Kong is seen fleeing war dogs before reaching the edge of a precipice. The big ape then draws the creatures into his trap, causing one to fall to its death and tearing another in half to compel the others to flee. As Kong attempts to feast on his kill, he discovers that he has an infected tooth that prevents him from eating. He then hears a huge roaring noise and assumes it is coming from another ape, but it is actually a frog thing generating the noise. Kong finally accepts his seclusion. On the surface, Dr. Eileen Andrews has been working with Monarch to keep Godzilla and Kong separate. Godzilla maintains power over other beasts by killing them whenever they make trouble. In Rome, the monster Scylla is wreaking havoc until Godzilla charges his atomic breath and fires it down Scylla's throat before making the Colosseum his new home. At an outpost facility in hollow soil, researchers begin to discover high-energy readings from Kong's region, resulting in a sinkhole in the soil where Kong murdered the war dogs. Director Hampton, a Monarch colleague, alerts Eileen to the facts. Meanwhile, Eileen has adopted Jia, who is attending public school for the first time. Jia is having visions of the Titans, and she unwittingly draws images that resemble the energy readings detected by Monarch. Jia tells Eileen that she does not feel like she fits in this new environment. Later, the outpost is destroyed by an unknown Titan. Eileen travels to Miami to ask Bernie Hayes for his assistance in determining the relationship between Jia's visions. He offers to help on the condition that he accompany her into Hollow Earth. Another energy rush occurs, one that even Godzilla detects. He leaves Rome and makes his way to the source. At the same time, Kong comes from Hollow Earth and shows Eileen and Jia his rotten teeth. Eileen contacts her old buddy Trapper, a Monarch veterinarian. He utilizes a major portion of his technology to extract the tooth and replace it with metal. Later, Bernie informs Eileen that a distress signal has been detected from Hollow Earth. Eileen, Bernie, Trapper, Jia, and a pilot named Michael begin pursuing Kong on his trip back down. Godzilla travels to a nuclear power facility in France, where he begins to absorb radiation to charge himself up. Jets start swooping in to try to shoot him down, but Godzilla swats them away like flies. Hampton then notices Godzilla approaching another Titan named Tiamat in the North Pole. The researchers conclude that if Godzilla kills Tiamat, he will be supercharged. The crew of Hollow Earth discovers the Monarch outpost destroyed and the researchers dead. They discover a bloody paw print on the stone walls above, which Trapper believes is a call to war. Meanwhile, Kong discovers the pit and enters a subterranean realm. He walks with his axe until he comes across another figure and is taken aback to realize that it is a smaller ape named Suku. While Kong attempts to approach her amicably, Suko bites him and summons 3 more apes to attack him. One of them nearly kills Kong with his axe before he frees himself from the other ape's clutches and beats them up, even using Suko as a club to kill one. Kong saves an ape from falling over a cliff, but the ape attempts to attack him, prompting Kong to kick him to death. The third ape flees, leaving Kong to be guided by Suko. The crew resumes flying until an additional energy surge forces their ship to collapse. Trapper and Bernie feel danger, but Michael takes the initiative and is eaten by a forest thing. The others run until they come across the remnants of an ancient temple dedicated to Mothra. Jia opens an entrance, guiding them beneath a protective curtain into the subterranean world. Suko leads Kong to a watering hole to drink, but a massive serpent monster appears and attempts to drag Kong away. Kong fights back, using his axe to decapitate the serpent. Kong consumes the serpent's remains, even sharing some with Suko, who is shocked despite having lured Kong into a trap. Monarch tracks Godzilla's movements till he reaches Tiamat. The undersea titan awakens from a rest and confronts Godzilla. Despite Tiamat wrapping herself around him, Godzilla transforms her into sushi and absorbs her radioactive energy before returning underwater to prepare. The group is discovered by warriors from the Iwi tribe, who immediately recognize Jia as one of them. The tribe's chief interacts with Jia telepathically and leads her onward. They hold hands, allowing them to share images and flashbacks of the Iwi tribe, as well as Jia's personal experiences. Eileen learns that the distress signal they received came from the Iwi. The crew is led further inside the Iwi's temple, where Eileen translates their history. Kong steps in and has the enforcer try to get in his face, only for Kong to sucker punch him and knock him down. Scar King then shows up to meet Kong, laughing at him with the other apes for his metal tooth. Scar King attempts to come down on Suko, only for the surviving ape from earlier to defend Suko. This causes Scar King to kick the ape into a pit of lava in retaliation, causing Suko to wail in agony. Kong and Scar King engage in a duel, with Scar King utilizing a whip made from another Titan's spine. While Kong almost overpowers Scar King, the evil ape summons his secret weapon, an ice titan named Shimo that is controlled by Scar King using a crystal that causes her pain. He instructs Shimo to breathe ice at Kong, who attempts to deflect it with his axe, but the blast is powerful enough to encase Kong's arm in ice and cause frostbite, weakening him. Kong begins to flee, with some of Scar King's apes after him, but he leads them into one of their traps, killing everyone save the ape he punched out because he used another ape to protect himself from falling boulders. The team spends more time with the Iwi, and Jia is finally reunited with her own people. Bernie tries to document his discoveries, while Eileen tells Trapper that she only wants what is best for Jia. The Iwi then open the veil into their world as Zuko brings the injured Kong to them. They see his arm and find him in bad shape. Kong signs with sadness to Jia that he lost his home. Trapper tells Eileen that the best thing for Kong is some tech of his from his project, Operation Powerhouse, which was done to create an augmentation to Kong in the event of another major Titan attack, but they were shut down. Trapper manages to locate the BEAST glove from the destroyed Monarch outpost and applies it to Kong's arm, allowing him to regain mobility and strength. He then starts to head out to the surface world to get Godzilla's attention, even though the others know Kong stepping onto his turf could lead to deadly consequences. Meanwhile, Scar King rides Shimo and guides the other apes to their victory. Godzilla awakens after being fully energized by Tiamat's power, and his dorsal plates flash a bright pink. Kong penetrates the surface world via a portal in Cairo, while Godzilla hears his roar in Gibraltar and travels across. Big G is not pleased to see Kong again, so he runs toward him, despite Kong's attempts to persuade Godzilla to join him, but he assaults Kong as they engage in another major battle, demolishing the pyramids. Kong uses his new glove to punch Godzilla several times. Down underground in Hollow Earth, the Iwi and Jiao perform their ceremony, ushering in Mothra's rebirth. She moves to the surface to intervene in the conflict. Godzilla is astonished to see his old comrade again, and it is enough for him to set aside his feud with Kong and join forces as he and Kong roar in unison. With Scar King and his soldiers approaching, the humans devise a strategy to create a gravity surge by using Iwi technology to cause their crystals to produce a reaction that will temporarily prevent the wicked Titans from fleeing. Scar King instructs Shimo to freeze and breach the barrier so that he can enter. Godzilla and Kong then charge into battle together, leaping towards Shimo and Scar King, respectively, for the ultimate monster smackdown. The surge commences, with the two apes and two lizards duking it out mid-air, while Scar King's enforcer tries to get in, and Zuko joins the fight and sends the traitorous ape falling to his death. Mothra protects the humans trying to fly to safety. The four main Titans then fall through the portal through the surface world. The Titans end up in Rio de Janeiro on a beach, scaring off the other patrons. Scar King then uses Shimo to unleash her ice powers upon the world, freezing several buildings and firing an ice blast into the sky. Kong gets a few more licks in against Scar King, but Shimo makes it hard for Kong to defeat him. Godzilla charges up his atomic breath against Scar King, who dodges the blast but gets the crystal ripped off the whip by Godzilla. As the Titans attempt to reach the crystal, Zuko jumps through the portal with Kong's axe and enters the battle to smash the crystal with a strike of the axe, freeing Shimo from Scar King's grip. Without his ultimate weapon, Kong throws the evil ape at Godzilla, who whips him back with his tail like a volleyball at Kong. He then lifts Scar King into the air, while Shimo turns on her former owner and freezes him into an apesicle. Kong then smashes Scar King into a million pieces. Godzilla uses his breath to reverse the ice blast, returning everything to normal. In the aftermath, Godzilla retreats to the Colosseum to recuperate. Mothra fixes the curtain in Hollow Earth. Eileen believes Jia is ready to leave her and join the Iwi tribe, but Jia expresses her willingness to accompany Eileen wherever they go. They then parted company with Trapper and Bernie. Kong returns to the Great Apes with Zuko and Shimo, the latter of whom is now receiving much better treatment owing to Kong. He then stands before the other apes as their new leader, raising his axe to the sky with a great shout, to which the other apes respond respectfully.